Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is episode 4 of everything you need to know about moving to Dubai. And I have mentioned in my other videos that it is really worth watching parts 1, 2 and 3 before this video, because the previous videos are aimed at people, I guess, moving to Dubai, whereas now these videos are heading off in a direction that are really for the people who have moved to Dubai. So practical advice for the people who've got their feet on the ground here. Excuse my tree, I undressed her yesterday. It's officially over. Christmas is done for one more year. So you may have noticed I'm in a different apartment, and for anyone who's been catching up with me on Instagram but also my other videos on YouTube, you would know that my long-term rental apartment caught on fire. That was back in November 2022. So I am living in a lovely furnished apartment provided by Ema, and I am here for 6 months whilst they put my apartment back together. And actually that's where I want to start this video, because for me personally, so I'm from England, I'm from the south of England, and there really are not that many apartments, to be honest with you. And if there are apartments, they are definitely not high-rise apartments. So this is my first experience of moving into an apartment, but also living in a high-rise building, and also, I guess, relying on my neighbours to also be part of my safety. You know, I rely on my neighbours to not leave their cookers on, and I rely on my neighbours to not throw cigarettes off the balcony. Some expats will move out here and go straight into a villa, but the majority of us do move into apartments. And actually it's really quite fun moving into an apartment, feeling like you're a bit of a community, getting to know your neighbours. You know, it's quite a social way, I guess, to start living in Dubai. But I really feel like it is my duty to say this to you. If you're someone moving to Dubai and you are going to an apartment, I literally beg you to collect your keys and then go and walk the route as if you had to evacuate for a fire. I know it's a horrible thought, and really I don't want to scare anyone, because there's not fires every day happening in Dubai, but I just feel like if I can take any learning from this and pass this on, then I would say absolutely go and do a evacuation yourself. Don't wait for a fire drill, you know, go and find out where is your nearest staircase, go and find out what's the number of security if you have to ring them for any reason, if you're trapped in your apartment. Go and find out those things the second you go and collect your keys, because I don't want anyone living in fear, but I also feel like I have a duty of care to share this with you, because I'm doing videos all about moving to Dubai. I've just lived through something very crazy, and I want people to be safe, I want people to be happy, I want long healthy lives. So that moves me on to the next point. The numbers I put on the screen, please pop these into your phone, because I actually did not have these numbers in my phone, and that terrifies me. Why did I not have the number for the police, the ambulance, the fire service? I don't know why. It's really silly, and again, my duty of care. Please pop these in your phone if you are moving to Dubai, because God forbid, hopefully you'll never need them, but if you do, then they are right here for you. The next thing I want to talk about is the delivery service in Dubai and the postal service in Dubai, because in the UK we have something called the Royal Mail, and you can literally write someone's address on a letter, you can take it to a post box with a stamp on it, and it will magically turn up to the person you wanted it to get to. Whereas here in Dubai there actually is not a postal service. I do not have a letterbox on my front door, and it's funny because we get everything delivered here. So how does that work? So basically the two ways that you can receive anything is you can either have a PO box, or you can have a courier deliver something to your apartment. That's the only two ways. So I'm going to start with the PO box. So I don't personally have a PO box. I never get enough delivered to warrant having a PO box. There are 3 different tiers of having a PO box. The cheapest one is 350 dirhams, and basically what you're paying for essentially is just an address. So every time you want to order something, you can pop in your personal PO box address, then whatever you're ordering will get delivered to this PO box, and then you can go and collect your parcel or your letter at a time that suits you from your PO box. The next level up is 650 dirhams per year, and that is basically exactly the same as the first option, except instead of you having to go and collect the parcels, they will come and deliver the parcel to your apartment once a week. And then the third option is just under 1,000 dirhams per year. It's exactly the same as options 1 and 2, but instead of having your parcels delivered just once a week, they will deliver parcels to you 6 days per week. So I don't need a PO box. I guess you'll know whether you do or you don't need one. I think the service is actually incredibly affordable, to be honest with you. You will find that ordering off of some websites, they will only deliver to a PO box, but also the other option is if you're coming to Dubai and you're working, chances are your employer will have a PO box, and it may be worth checking with them to see whether you can use it. With regards to the other option, like I said, getting things delivered via a courier, so everything gets delivered here via a courier, or if you're ordering directly from a shop, they may have their own delivery drivers. But when you're placing an order online, if the company is within Dubai or within the United Arab Emirates, then you'll be absolutely fine. The logistics are already there. But if you are ordering a parcel from overseas, then you basically just need to check in with them and make sure that they actually do have a courier service in place for when those goods arrive into the country. And if they don't, then I would say do not order from them, because your goods could turn up into the country, and because there's no one there to pick it up, basically it will just get sent back to the company that sent it to you. If you've got family and friends, again, they can get things sent to you overseas as long as it's going to a PO box. If they want to send something to your apartment, they also need to use a courier service. And there is a very popular one, I haven't used it personally, but it's called Shop and Ship, and you can get anything sent. You can get a letter sent, you can get a suitcase sent, you can get everything sent. And from what I understand, it's very simple. You go online, you create a free account, and you pop in the apartment of where you need it to go to, where it's coming from, the weight, the size, all that kind of stuff. So there definitely are ways of getting things to you. It's just there's a few different avenues, but it mainly boils down to where are the goods coming from initially, and are there logistics in place for it. Next up, I'm going to talk about alcohol. So on the 1st of January 2023, there was an announcement that there is going to be some significant changes with alcohol in Dubai, and this is for a trial period from the 1st of January 2023 to the 31st of December 2023. And the first thing is that alcohol tax, which historically used to be 30%, has now been axed. So that benefits the people who are actually buying the alcohol to begin with, so the vendors. So for an example, an alcohol shop or a hotel or a restaurant, these are the people that 30% will benefit. The idea is that 30% saving should be passed on to the customer, but there's actually no guarantee. There's no obligation for the vendor to do that, but the whole idea of scrapping the 30% tax on alcohol was for that purpose, was to save people money. So typically you would expect that if you previously went into a bar and paid £10 for a pint, it should now be £7. So really everyone should be in for some savings, but we will see. Other big thing regarding alcohol is that the alcohol licenses are now free for this trial period. So if you are a resident of Dubai, you are over the age of 21 and you are non-Muslim, then you can go to any alcohol shop and take with you your Emirates ID. You complete an application form, and within 3 to 4 days you'll get a approval, and then within about 2 weeks you'll receive your actual physical alcohol license card, and it's basically the same size and shape as a driving license. And what that alcohol license enables you to do is to be able to go into an alcohol shop, buy alcohol, transport it back to your home, and then you're also able to drink that alcohol within your home. If you're a tourist coming on holiday, then you don't need an alcohol license, because the only places that you would be drinking alcohol is within establishments that have their own alcohol license, so you don't need to worry about getting one. But if you are someone who wants to go and get a bottle of wine and enjoy it in your hotel apartment, then you can also get a temporary alcohol license. You would again go to an alcohol shop, bring with you your passport. As long as you're over 21 and you're non-Muslim, then you will get an instant alcohol license which lasts for 30 days. And that historically was always free, so I'm assuming it's still free because the paid ones are now free. So I think everything is free in terms of getting these approvals to drink alcohol. I know this might be incredibly obvious what I'm about to say, but I just want to mention it, that the alcohol license of course only covers you to be able to drink alcohol. It doesn't excuse any behaviour that might come off the back of drinking alcohol. The law and what's illegal is still very much in place whether you have or have not drank alcohol. It purely is just so that you can drink it in your own home. And that is another thing I want to mention, is that you cannot go buy a bottle of wine and then go and take it to your local park and drink it merrily outside. You know, it is definitely there to be able to let you buy alcohol and have it at home. Next thing I want to talk about is time difference. So I am from the UK, as I mentioned, and we operate a daylight saving time in the UK, and therefore that means that 6 months of the year I am 3 hours ahead from my family and friends at home, and the other half of the year I am 4 hours ahead. In my mind I thought, oh, it's fine, the maximum I will be ahead is only 4 hours. That's really not a lot of time. But the reality of actually living and being here when your family and friends are in a different time zone, even though it's only 4 hours, it still is big. It's still a big impact, because when my friends and family are finishing work in the UK, I am going to sleep. And it does then make it difficult and tricky to catch up with your loved ones, even though you really, really want to. If I could maybe go back to my old self, my moving out self, I think I wouldn't have put so much pressure maybe on trying to catch up with everyone. And I guess I would have just been more realistic that I am actually moving to a different country and I am going to be in a different time zone. If you are going to book in a call with someone, then treat it as if you are literally going to meet them at a coffee shop. If you say a time and day and they say a time and day that works, then don't cancel it, because you will then find that there'll be weeks that pass and then you won't catch up, and you know it's already quite tricky catching up with people anyway. Having said that, I would say that moving abroad in 2023 has probably never been easier in terms of keeping communication open with your loved ones at home. And I know that is literally two different things I've just said in the same topic, but what I mean by that is I really do feel like communication has changed over the last couple of years. And I feel like now that we WhatsApp and we voice note our friends and we text each other really big sort of updates, our approach to communicating is just so different now. And I feel like if I was to text someone and they didn't text me back that day or that week, or sometimes even in the same month, I'm not offended by that. Back in the day, if you text someone and they didn't respond that night, then wow, it was a sting. It was a blow to the old heart. But now I feel like everyone kind of, I guess, understands and appreciates and also respects that we all live very, very busy lives. And it doesn't take away from how much you love and care and look after your friendship. Personally for me, sometimes I will literally book out an afternoon to respond to all of my friends, all of my family, and it'll be very considerate. Like, I'll spend that time carefully listening to what they've said, and I will be fully available and committed to that conversation. And I just wanted to say that because, yeah, you may struggle to book in voice calls, video calls with your family and friends, but you can still maintain these wonderful relationships just by catching up really at a time that is convenient to you. And I love that we have moved on in that way, because it takes the pressure off. Because honestly, if that had not happened, I do feel like you would move abroad and you probably wouldn't get the chance to catch up with your friends and family properly. And it's just something that I wanted to touch on because I don't think I was fully prepared for it, but it is the reality that I live. Next up is all about PDA, public display of affection. And honestly, if I had £1 for every time someone asked me, how do you live in such a strict country, I would be rich. It's actually really interesting that people still have so many misconceptions of what Dubai is truly like to live in. And the thing that I have to start off by saying is that Dubai is a Muslim country, and if you are choosing to move to Dubai, then you also have to respect that this is a Muslim country. There is a predominant religion here and there are practices here that have to be respected. Not only have you got to use your common sense, but you also should, out of courtesy, you should also read up about what is expected of you as a resident here. Having said that, no, you will not have your hand cut off if you are holding hands with someone, and you will not go to prison if you hug someone. Like, it is really not like that. My reality of living here is that I have not had to change anything about my individual personal display of affection, because I will hold hands with my husband, I will hug him. Will I stand in the street snogging his face off? Absolutely not. I've never done that in the UK. I would never do that here. If you are someone who absolutely loves to have a good old kiss and a big old smooch and even a grope, and you like to do those things in public, then yeah, Dubai really is not for you, okay? And that's me being honest. But doing the very respectful shows of PDA is absolutely fine. I remember actually a couple of years ago, I was coming home from Dubai on holiday and I was in the London Heathrow lift at the airport, and it was just me, my suitcase, and then a couple, and they were, well, they were very into their embrace. And I felt so uncomfortable. I was thinking, why have I got to listen to these people lock lips? And it was, I shouldn't have been there. I felt really awkward, and it's just so unnecessary to me anyway. I just don't need to see it. So yeah, Muslims would not like to see that here, and actually neither would I. So the next thing I want to talk about is that, of course, Dubai is so multicultural. There are so many people here, so many different religions, personalities, practices, different nationalities, smells, foods. I mean, there is just everything going on here, and it is absolutely wonderful, and I'm so glad to be here. Every day I wake up feeling so happy that I live in Dubai. I absolutely love it here, I really do. I love that there is a opportunity every day to meet someone new with a completely different walk of life, and that is what excites me about being here so much. We are all living together in this one large community, but we've all been brought up very differently, and things like manners and things like showing your kindness are very different to one another. So what I mean by this is, I'm British, as I've mentioned a couple of times. As a child, I would not be given anything unless I said please and thank you. You were taught to be very polite, and I'm very giving actually. We would happily run to go and get a door for someone and open it, and we want to show them that we've done that for them, because we are just like that. If we're driving and we can see someone needs to get out, we will take it upon ourselves to pause the traffic and let that person out, because that is just who we are as people. I do truly believe that smiling is translated in any language, and showing acts of kindness could be translated in any language. But what I would say is that you cannot take it too personally if someone does not show you the same level of politeness as you are used to. So there have been so many times where I have held the door open for someone and they have swanned through like they are the queen. and in your mind you think, why did they not say thank you? But it's because actually for some other cultures and some other ways of life, is they are not about showing that type of kindness. The person who may have walked through that door and maybe didn't even see me, or they did see me and thought that was weird, they could be on a different path of life where efficiency is much more valued than showing my version of kindness. So I just want to say that basically don't take it to heart. If you took everything to heart, you would literally be upset all day, because people are very different here. Another example, I've been in a restaurant before where people will literally say Coke. And that is how they ask for a Coca-Cola. Whereas my version of saying that is, hello there, oh yes please, I would love a Coke, thank you very much. I'm sure so many nationalities hear that and think, wow, there are so many words in there that were unnecessary. You needed a Coke, just tell me you want a Coke. What that then leads me on to is, and I love hearing about other cultures, I love hearing how other people have been brought up, but I will always remain true to myself. And if I said please and thank you in the UK, 100% I'm saying please and thank you in Dubai. And I feel like there is a tendency for people to move here and feel a bit more righteous and a bit more entitled. And I just want to say, stay humble. We are all nobodies, no matter how much money you've got in your bank account or what job you do. If you are someone who knows you should say please and thank you, continue to say it. You know, the only reason I would say you need to flex and would perhaps strip back on that is if there is a genuine language barrier and the person does only understand the word Coke and you have to ask in that way. I feel like we all need to continue spreading the kindness in the way that we feel is appropriate, but don't take offense if people don't reciprocate that, because chances are they are not on purposely trying to be difficult, trying to be rude. It's just we are all very different, and that is truly the beautiful thing about living here. So that is all the topics I want to talk about in today's video. I would love to know if there's any other areas that you would like me to cover, or there's anything you're unsure about. Please let me know. In the meantime, any news or any changes out here, I am going to keep you guys updated with all of that, and I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it useful, then please do subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.